Not much, not much. Busy as usual. With flywheel things, Frax things, a lot going on in the world of both, which is really exciting. How are you guys?
Busy as fuck, man. I'm just getting ready to Singapore. I'm excited to see you there again.
Yeah,
Um, a lot of things going on, man. A lot of things going on.
I know. Will
Hello,
definitely be
guys.
different than. Uh, how's it going, Pedro? Good to hear from you
All good,
again.
all good. Yeah, great talking to you, man. Like, finally talking here with Zaros community. It's so great. Like, it's been quite.
Boot camp, and you were just like, I got this new job, like I'm gonna be at Illuvium. This was like back in December 2020. And I was like, what's that? And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then the next thing I know, like 8 months later, Illuvium just blows up, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like I know like the lead dev there, and so it's been like great seeing your evolution and journey and seeing how your natural curiosity drives you. And also like my favorite, and then Guy, we met like in Lisbon, and like I think my favorite thing about you guys is like how you've been able to I wouldn't call it pivot, but like adapt with Zaros because like the idea at first was just super broad. You wanted to do like
Yeah.
perp simply on chain,
Yeah,
but then it became like quite clear the value prop of Zaros. Once you're like, okay, we're gonna focus on LSTs, and that's gonna be our thing. Like bringing the most capital efficiency to LSTs, and also just making like an actual usable interface for traders and users. So it's like a win-win for both worlds.
yeah, exactly. That's something that I always mention to not only to people that we're just talking about what we're doing, but also to investors and the community itself. Like it's crazy how everything started. Like we went to Lisbon and we got totally wrecked in the hackathon. Like, yeah, we got to change everything. Okay, let's iterate
Uh,
and let's
Wait, you guys
think
got
of
wrecked? I didn't know that.
no, like wrecked what I mean. Like, yeah, this doesn't have a product market fit. Not like not wrecked
Yeah.
in the sense like oh yeah, this sucks. No, like just like we realized that if we wanted to raise and we wanted to actually build a top tier quality DeFi protocol, we needed to iterate a lot. And that's why we iterated for like a year before actually announcing Zaros and before talking about what we were doing. Because even if we fundraised around February or March, but we only announced it like this month, like last month. So we
Yeah.
were pretty on stealth mode because we wanted to make sure we had everything right, everything straight to before we announce.
Yeah. No, like have no rush, like be very methodical. Like take there's especially in bear markets right now, there's like no reason to rush. And so like you just want to like make sure like if you do it right. And like you guys have definitely done that with the way you've built and the way you've adapted. Like it's been great to see. And honestly, like I've been like behind you guys, like supporting you guys, since God, since like basically the beginning because,
Yeah.
I just like fuck with you guys as people. And I'm just like these are builders, these are people that are committed, like these are people that are like passionate, love what they do. And I knew like, maybe they might not have it figured out now, and this was like last year, but I have faith that they will figure it out. And I still and like so far like it's like looking like quite promising with the direction you're going.
Thank you so much, Dave. Yeah, and it's crazy, man. Because I remember when I met you, like, it was even before Illuvium being announced. So like super early, like in the middle. I think right
It was the
after the
middle of
DeFi
COVID.
summer.
Yeah,
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 in
it
the
was
middle of
December.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
I think like I remember meeting like it was our Bernardo was the one that introduced us, and I'll never
Yeah.
forget. We were like out one night, um, and Bernardo was like, "Yeah, like I'm doing DeFi stuff. I'm building on like Binance Smart Chain." I was like, "Wait, what? Why?" And this was December 2020. This was before BSC season, and then I'm just like, "Oh, that's why." Like 2 months later, like, and then I'll never forget. I was like, "I gotta pay attention to like." Brazilians in DeFi like way more. And like
This,
I
this
already knew, but
This
yeah,
is funny because you just mentioned Baze like today or yesterday. Like
yeah,
your first reaction was funny, but
yeah. No, no. Oh yeah, because oh yeah. So like back at East Denver, because I saw how Coinbase executed their NFT exchange, and it was just awful. And I'm just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
that
are they
that sucked.
the chain? Yeah, and like it was just not good. And like when I heard they're announcing a chain, I was like, I'm not sure. Like is this like a thing for real? It will be another half-ass things. And so like I was definitely critical. And I think like at that time in Denver, I was just like critical of a lot of things. And then like I don't know, I kind of thought about like what you said. You're just like, oh, like you were like, oh, the it's Coinbase, like they have like a lot of resources and support. And then I remember the next day I said to you, like, you know what? I'm gonna like walk back from what I said, but I'm not gonna like go like
Yeah.
full on like support them into the future. But I'm gonna walk back like, okay, like maybe I should like check my biases a bit and give them the benefit of the doubt. And you know what? Like for like a chain that doesn't have a token or airdrop, they've just like executed brilliantly. Like they really like they like they really have. Between Friend Tech and Aerodrome. I mean, like Aerodrome is just like another Solidity 3.3 fork, but
Uh,
they I don't.
you,
But
you
like
have
I think
normal
the
protocols there as well. Like, it's crazy. Like
yeah
it's not like you have a bunch of like Uniswap, Aave, forks. You have, as I mentioned, Frentech. You have some
yeah
new DeFi projects being built. So yeah, it's pretty exciting to see base growth. I
yeah
mean, it's we launched on Arbitrum, but
yeah
our vision in the future is to be like interoperable and be everywhere users are. So
yeah
pretty
yeah be
excited
everywhere
about
you
base.
yeah exactly like go to where the users are like and like I mean Arbitrum is like like that's the place like especially like for the most part when you were building like that's where like the users were like this is like where GMX was and like this and that but now it's like kind of interesting how the meta like kind of changed to be like really degen PvP like over the past year like because right now like whatever regardless of what you guys see on Twitter like we're basically in the equivalent of 2019 and it's just like
Mhm.
very and so like that's why you're seeing things like meme coins and like gamblefy coins, which aren't necessarily bad within themselves,
Mhm.
but it's just like it's not. It's just like we've seen there have been meme coins in the past, gamblefy coins in the past, and it's like these are not the coins that are gonna make users like the next. These are not the coins that are gonna like make users stick if they like get burned so fast. Like maybe they'll like bring them in but like if they get like burned too fast, then they're just gonna like leave with a sour taste in their mouth. Like I will admit, like Dogecoin did like bring a lot of attention to crypto, but at the same time, like people didn't know that Dogecoin was the crypto. I literally had texts from friends that I used to live in Cali with. She was like, one girl was like, "Hey, like I just made so much money off of dog stocks." And like, because they just buy it off of Robinhood. Like they don't know they don't know the difference between like that and it's like they're like like with the UI, it's like no different. They don't realize it's a cryptocurrency. But like what I'm hoping, like, is that yeah, maybe like like with these meme coins, people just don't get burned too fast. That's like my biggest concern is like people getting burned too fast. Because I'm not sure if you saw like Gamble, whatever, something today got hacked. I'm not sure if you guys saw that on Twitter.
No, what happened?
I don't know. There's something GMBL got like it was like pushed
GNBL.
by like a yeah, I think it was like pushed by a lot of influencers and like I don't think it was like with malice at all, but it just like got hacked and like it was just like a bad look because like every time there's like a hack or like malice in the space, it just like leaves like a bad taste in people's mouths. And like you know what I mean? Especially if you're like new to the space. Like oh like that's why people are like, oh like crypto's such a scam. And like but it's like not. There's like so much like cool shit like going
Mhm,
on and
mhm.
being built, like Zaros. So
Yeah, thank you. And like,
Thanks, man.
I think I mean, that's quite obvious, but the main thing that blockchains, like smart contracts, bringing about transparency, it's great because like even if you like some of these edge cases like gambling, I mean, I don't know what happened with this project today on Twitter, but uh, at least you can have transparency, like if the project is built in the right way. So
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I think the power of like blockchain is really, and it's like transparency, self sovereignty, and ease of access. Like transparency, you can see everything on chain. Um, Ease of access, like there's no like you can just all you need is your like address. So it's just like cryptograph. You need your public key, private key, like your private key, and like boom, you can do like whatever.
Mhm.
What's the second thing I said? A self sovereignty. And because it's like you can do it like with the cryptographic key, it's like it's yours. Like the government can't come in and be like, oh, like we're gonna freeze your account because we don't like you. It's like no, like this is mine. This is like my self sovereign. And I think that's the most powerful thing about blockchain. Um, and I think that stable coins in particular are the killer app of blockchain. And I guess this would be a good time to transition over
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
stable coins and Yeah. And
It's
so
funny. Like, do you remember like when we were talking in East Denver and like we were still? I mean, I think yeah, it was before our pivot to LSTs, but
yeah.
we were still a bit early, like building the initial proof of concept of Zaros. Like was a bit like just starting our round, and then we were talking like it was like I think it was you, Sam was in the conversation. We were like, we have this stablecoin Zaros USD, but not sure how much focus we should give, like how much energy we should spend on it, as it's not exactly our main product inside Zaros. And then I think it was you or Sam were like very straightforward. Like it sounds like the stablecoin is the core thing of your protocol.
I think it was Sam. Yeah, no, because we were outside. Yeah, and I remember. You said that. Yeah, yeah.
So it's funny. It was really important to have these like it kind of clicked on us like very quickly, and we switched like, hey, we should spend more energy, and that's like Frax is. Sorry to cut your talk on stablecoin maximalism, but like Frax is like such a large inspiration to us on our liquidity engine contracts because
Yeah.
we believe that like I believe like Frax's AMO system and this all of the design principles brought by Frax were super innovative and super important to actually achieving a scalability on stablecoins without compromising on like security and centralization. So that's a core principle of our strategy smart contracts that we use to be able to bootstrap Zaros USD liquidity, and then in the other sides of on the demand side of our protocols, so for traders, we're able to like pretty easily list and work with any perps market that has an Oracle on chain. So it's pretty powerful, and Frax is very important inspiration to us.
Yeah.
Frax. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I was just gonna mention like that there were an interest conversation we had with Fernando, the founder of Balancer. He's one of our investors as well, and we were really trying to figure out how to implement what we're doing, and the answer was the AMO stablecoin. So that's one other thing that made us realize the importance of that in the gears of the protocol. Not only that, but like how we would evitate like impermanent loss and how it would make the liquidity provisioning model work with the LSC vault and the pool between ZRS USD and USDC, so we could bootstrap liquidity. So that was an interesting conversation. I don't know if you want to bring that up, Pedro, but please go ahead, Dave.
I have a question with you about you guys about like USDC, because like USDC has been down only since March. What are your guys' like thoughts on? I mean, like it's still like the stablecoin of DeFi. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure if you guys saw like Tether just came out. They have like I think they rank like in the top 25 of like entities in the world of like that own like US treasuries. That's insane. Like they're literally a small country. They're like they have as not enough influence as a small country. They're like I don't know, like 25 employees or something. Like they I mean, I think stablecoins are like the best business model if you can pull it off. And Tether, they have the advantage of they've been around since 2014, and like they were the first ones to do it, and they were able. They were on for years before USDC came out, and then yeah, I mean, yeah, they had like a lot of Tether FUD because they're kind of like a black box, and who knows what's going down in 2017. But even in like this market, even with like the rise of USDC, like they always kept their peg, like even in during like and probably like being a black bot, like being opaque helped them. like unpopular opinion, like who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But like it looks like they're in a good. I really respect Paulo, the guy, I don't know how to say his last name, a lot. I want to listen to that interview he did with Paulo.
Yeah. From
I want to listen to the interview.
Paulo from Tether.
Oh,
Tether, yeah.
You were talking about
think about
the
like
guys from the Web3.
Arduino.
Think about how much like FUD he like had to deal with like over the years, and like constant, and like I mean that's what happens when you're number one. Like people come at people try to come at the king. Like people try to come at the crown, but he like he like stuck through it. He like defended, and now like Tether's in a pretty sweet position. USDC was the one that had like the fuck up, and like it's like real. I don't think like I feel like the stablecoin race is like wide open. I don't think there has been like I don't think like Tether's lead is necessarily like given yet because like I think there's like some disadvantages that it's like too much of a black box. Like they can't do any like they're basically the equivalent of euro dollars. So they're basically like offshore dollars and stuff. And so I don't like I wonder if there's like if like the right policy thing comes in with the US, if like some other stablecoin Frax could like come in and like take the crown, and like be number one. And like I think like we're going to live in a world of multiple stablecoins, and we should live in a world of multiple stablecoins so people can have their options. It's funny, like the Frax that like it's funny. I was like with you, Pedro. Like I like met you around the time when Frax launched back in 2020, which is crazy to think about, and like how it's evolved since then. And like the Frax back then was way different than like Frax now. Like back then,
there's Frax
like no, there's like Frax. Frax like originally. I call it Frax. It's short for fractal. I mean, people are like, oh, it's like it was like fractional, which is like it's true, but like I think it's like fractal because it's really a fractal of DeFi. You have your stable coin, you have your LSD, you have a lending market, which was the MVP of this whole Curve Viper hack crisis last month. You have like the TWAM exchange, you have a bridge. Am I missing anything? So it's like 6 different things. And then you have FPI, of course, which is the CPI peg stablecoin. There's like literally, if you go to the Fraxful Twitter, there's literally a meme if you want to that has like if you want to see the Frax fly, we'll show them this. It just shows like all the different things, like all those, and also like AMOs, and also like the Fed master account. And now you're seeing that actually like come to be with FinRes. So Frax, so like it's really funny like how like Maker has designed their like stable real world assets and Frax has designed their real world assets, because Maker has chosen to go with they have chosen like a little bit riskier loans, and so it's like they're higher yielding but like they're riskier, and like they do like hold like a lot of treasuries directly as well. And so like they had like the DSR raised to like 5%, I mean 8%, then down to 5%, and that became like the new risk-free rate of DeFi. And like it really did like suck a lot of stable coins like out, like a lot of bridges that had a lot of DAI just like they lost their liquidity because everybody just like wanted that rate. People can go to where the yield is, but at like the same time, like I'm not sure what's going on with Maker because like they have like their end game proposal, and like Maker's like, I mean, I'm sure like Rune's
they're talking about Solana right now. You see,
SCM, which is like an interesting path, but like it seems like this is like years down the line, and I'm like, then you see Vitalik like sell his Maker after it was announced, but that I mean, like that leaves the door open for other stablecoins like Frax. And so like how Frax is structured with their real world assets is they have a nonprofit entity called FinRes, which stands for like Financial Reserves Asset Exploration.
What's the name of the entity?
FinRes. So
cool.
So Financial Reserves Asset Exploration. And so this is a nonprofit entity, and its only function is to hold real world assets. Like it can't do anything else but like hold like treasuries or like have like an account. And so
can you tell where it's based? Is it US based or not really?
It's a nonprofit. I'm not sure of the details. So like if you guys want to go, if you go to the Frax governance, you will see all the details about this. And basically Frax has like a partnership with like a innovative regional bank, like Lead Bank. So think about like SVB, but like solvent and responsible. And they're going to actually like be able to hold like these treasuries and like hold like the equivalent to the risk-free rate, which was like, and so now like Fraxel has their response to DSR. And just 2 days ago, it was proposed by the Frax team, SFrax, which is like basically the Frax version of DSR. And Sam hinted that when it launches, the base rate should be 10%. So that'll be double Makers. Yeah.
Very interesting.
So
And
really, yeah.
I was going to ask. So, do you know like many details about SFRAX? Like, how much are you into? I'm very curious. Like, are you guys going to start like instead of just like you have like Frax ETH and stake Frax ETH? Like, are you considering like incentivizing maybe like SFRAX pools instead of Frax pools to have like with
Uh,
varying liquidity on spot AMMs? How do you guys
like
envision
that.
this?
Um, I don't. I'm not sure about liquidity. I can imagine looping. I can imagine like there being a Fraxlin pair where I can like, have my S Frax and then borrow Frax and then stake that and just like loop it.
Mhm.
I can see that happening. Um, but I can't. I don't. With I'm not sure about like liquidity activities. Do you know if like are there like any liquidity pairs for like SDI or like the DSR?
Yeah, I think I only saw like one pair. I think
Yeah.
it was on Balancer with significant
Uh,
liquidity on SDAI. I think it was the R stablecoin,
SDI.
and it was
Yeah.
getting like a pretty interesting traction. Like it was with a decent APR and it was like growing really fast. But unfortunately, um, it coincided with the Balancer recent vulnerability, so people had to withdraw from this pool. But before this happened,
Bouncer did a great. They did a great job with that vulnerability. Honestly,
yeah,
like,
indeed. They
yeah,
did a very responsible reports and like you know
yeah,
they managed to protect funds in a very responsible way without
yeah,
compromising users. So yeah,
yeah. They did great. They've been around forever. Like they're an OG protocol, and like,
yeah.
it's cool that you have like them. And how'd you guys get? I'm curious. Like, how'd you guys get introduced to Sassel?
Oh, so one of our pre-seed investors, like it's, I'm not sure if we can disclose the. So
Yeah, yeah.
just
We can. It's fine. It was actually this happened in Lisbon, Dave. We met
Yeah,
one of our investors there, is Swagtimus from Scroll. He's the DevRel there,
yeah.
and he's close with Cecile. So he introduced him to us, and we started talking, and that was it. Pretty much this. He really liked what we were doing. He was
yeah,
actually
he's been really helpful.
yeah, a lot.
Oh,
He
that's
was
awesome.
actually the responsible to make us decide between Base and Arbitrum. And one thing he mentioned really caught my mind. Like he mentioned that users are a lot more loyal to layers than dApps, and that the DeFi community it's on Arbitrum. So that we should start
Mm,
there and then launch another layers 2 layer. And that made a lot of sense to us. That's how we made the decision. So it's great that he's with us. And he even mentioned about Zaros on his the Daily Way YouTube channel like a week ago.
yeah,
So I can send a link there if you guys want to take a look at it. So that's how
yeah.
we met him.
Yep.
I have so much respect for Sass. Like he's been through it. Like he's been like the ultimate Ethereum bull. Like even through last day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like to have like an OG that like truly cares like that. It's a
He's
huge stamp of
always waking
approval.
up bullish.
Yeah, waking up bullish. I just remember like back in 2020, whenever he tweet something bullish, like it would dump. It would be the funniest thing. But yeah, like a lot of things happening. Like yeah, it's crazy seeing like all this stuff with you know, base and like the OP stack. I've been like really getting to the OP stack recently, just like trying to catch up on it. And like to me, like the OP stack sounds like Ethereum's answer to Cosmos. Because in the
Yeah.
future, allegedly there's supposed to be interoperability. And when you have the network effects of base and like now like OP BNB like happening, if they're fully launched, like
Like,
that's like
do you
that's
guys have
really
any plans involving the OP stack and base, like with Frax? Sorry to cut you off. I don't know if you were going to talk about anything different, but
um
it just caught my
I'm
mind.
well I know that Frax is bridging to base, like Frax Ferry is is like going to have their support on base. In terms of like OP stack and Frax chain, I know like they because the Frax chain has been announced, but I don't know which option they're choosing because there's all these like different options. Like, there's Polygon, there's LP Stack, there's Arbitrum. There's probably like a few others. But I was like doing my research of all of them, and like ZK and like Fraxa said like they wanted to be a ZK in the past before, but like if you look at like I mean it's pretty damn power, and like also like the OP like Optimism has a really good ethos of public goods, of like retroactive funding.
Yeah.
They have a good culture, and they might have not in like started out like in a lead like Arbitrum, but like if you have like a bunch of like the right chains, right partners like launch on the OP stack, that's a pretty like strong network effect, like I said. But the only thing is though, like I was like watching that Bankless interview, like a recent one about it, about the OP stack. It was like with that and the guy from Base, Ben Jones and the guy from Base, Jesse, I forget something. And it's like a 15% fee. Like everything of OP like goes back to the Optimism Collective, which I guess is like the cost of like supporting that and like being part of the collective. So like I'm interested to see like if like that 15% fee like stays. I'm sure like to bootstrap that makes sense. But I can imagine if like a bunch of if like you get like hundreds or like thousands of OP stack chains all paying 50%, it's like guys, like this is like it's like lower or something because like 15%, that's a lot. That's a lot of fees. But I guess you're like you get what you pay for. So like it's like a good service. Like you should pay for it. So and like but anyways, I digress.
Don't worry. Do you want to talk about the plans for the Frax chain? Like it's recently recent, like it's reasonably recent. So I don't know if everyone knows about it. If you want to talk about the
Yeah,
Frax
because
chain plans.
Frax is doing so much, and so yeah, so Frax is planning Frax chain, so it's Frax's own roll up, secured by ETH. But it's that Sam talks about it. He talked about it in my like most recent space. Um, in terms of progress, I believe like there's a dev test net up, and like Sam's there might be like a general test net up by like the end of the year, maybe early next year. But like they're really going ahead with like Frax chain and basically like everything that like Frax offers a mainnet, it's going to be improved on Frax chain. Like Sam actually said that there'll be an improved governance system of VE FXS and VE FPIS on Frax chain. I think the best way to think of Frax chain is just going to be an upgrade of the entire Frax ecosystem. It's like Frax was released in 2020 at the like tail end of DeFi summer, going into the bull market. It was the second protocol to implement, vote escrow VE tokenomics, and that was actually the right move because then a bunch of people copied the VE tokenomics. But the problem is, like that VE tokenomics is like it was just like the V1 of it. And I'm not sure if you guys saw like Prisma Finance. They're doing some really like innovative stuff.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they're doing some really cool stuff like in terms of like LSTs and stablecoins. I gotta like take
Yeah.
like a deeper dive into it, but they've gone like I like how they got the support of the convex curve Frax ecosystem and like Frax is an investor. It's cool to see like those kind of like homegrown projects like come out. Like you love to see it. But no, what was I? I'm just.
And it's
What was
crazy
I saying?
that Prisma, I think they got like 30 million TVL in a few hours or a few days. Like it's so good to see that the LSTs are starting to get traction. Like you not only because of Zaros, I think it's great because it just means like more and more that we're on the right path towards product market fit, but also like users are starting like if you compare like now to like DeFi 1.0, like DeFi summer, you had like a ton of crazy shit, like real insane APIs financed by new and newer governance tokens, like everything unsustainable. I remember like my DGen friend
It's
like
absurd. Yeah.
using the calculators and like making if I make this much money trading, I can retire with this 40% APR pool, and of course the 40% APR pool never
It's
lasted more
yeah.
than months. Yeah, and like now we have like sustainable like real yield coming from like protocols that actually like have revenue. Like you have Frax, it's a huge success. You have like others, perp stacks that have LSTs, and I think what we are building here is just like I think it was you, Dave, that came with this terminology of like being the intersection between LSTs and perps. So yeah, I think
It
it makes a lot of
it
sense.
sounds like something I would say.
Yeah, it definitely was you. You're like everything we release is basically revealed by you, and the copywriting is enhanced by the goat. So thanks a lot,
Yeah,
man.
I try to give it. I give
What?
it my love. I said
Yeah,
I'll give it my love and attention and intention. So I
yeah.
try.
Thanks a lot. I'll send our new pitch deck soon.
Soon, TM. Yeah, and I'll see you again.
Yeah,
I'll see you in Singapore.
yeah. When are you going?
I get in on the 10th.
The 10th.
Yeah, what about
Cool.
you?
On the 9th. Yeah, like on Saturday.
Oh,
It's crazy because
uh,
how many hours for your flight, for example? Like
I think
I'm
mine's
thinking
like I
what?
have one stop. I think I have it's a 24-hour flight because I decided
24?
to like yeah, because I'm flying from the East Coast and so like I have to fly to like the Middle East and then to Singapore. Um
Yeah. That's the same for me,
yeah,
but it's a 38-hour flight, man.
holy shit, 38 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Not I'm
long
not
it's
excited. Not excited, but yeah, it is what it is.
oh my God. Yeah, man, that's dedication. How long are you gonna be there for?
I'm staying until the 17th. It's on like basically a week, almost a week.
Okay, yeah, I'm staying till the 19th because I'm like, okay, I need like a few days to
Yeah, yeah,
relax.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
yeah, but exciting stuff. I'm just a heads. I have to go like pretty soon. I have like another obligation I have to attend to.
Yeah,
But
it's okay. It's no problem.
yeah,
Is there
but
anything about like specifically about Frax that you want to talk about what's coming in the future of Frax?
yeah. So like we have Fraxith V2 eminently coming. So Fraxith V2 is really cool because it makes the Fraxith system more decentralized and it actually creates a lending market for validators. So what do I mean? What the fuck am I talking about? So like Fraxith V1, it's basically the core team runs like the validators themselves, and they're actually the highest ranked validators on rated.network. So they've done a fantastic job. But if you want to like really attack like institutions and whatnot, if you really want to scale, you got to decentralize. The first step in that was the release of FraxGov, which like actually decentralizes governance, brings final power to token holders. But with Fraxith V2, now like any validator can like go in and be like, hey, like I instead of like, oh, I have like 32 ETH. Like instead of running one node, I can go to like Fraxith V2. I can like put up 4 ETH as collateral, and I can run 8 nodes. And basically, I keep all like the MEV. I keep all the tips. I keep everything. But what I have to manage as a validator is my interest rate, and like I have to I have to manage. So it's basically like imagine Aave for validators. That's Fraxi 3.2, and it's like it's the first of its kind system. I don't think any other system has been created like this before, and this will like really weed out like quality validators from subpar validators, and it allows anybody to become a validator within in the Frax network. And so I think it's a really powerful system. I think like the Frax team builds with incentives in mind first. Like I think Frax is by far the best team in DeFi, like hands down. Like, and you see that with like how they are tested in times of duress. Like you look at the Curve Viper hack, and like Fraxland was the first one paid back by Michael. What else is coming? So that's really exciting. Frax V3 is coming out with like SRAX. You also have BAM, which is a borrow AMM, which is soon you'll be able to have lending for long tail assets, and of course Frax Chain. And keep
Nice.
in mind, Frax is only 7 depths. That's the core team is 7 depths. That's the
Oh my god.
like yeah,
That's
and
insane,
they've just
man.
yeah, I call them the SEALs Team 6 of DeFi. Um, but yeah, everyone there like is technical. Everybody there is just like heads down. Like I just saw all of them over like a few weeks ago. At so, bunch of guys in the Frax team have been getting married. So like one of the guys got married. I saw all of them. Like, they're doing well. They do
Nice.
have they can have a life too, but usually they're just in there in like cave mode, like developing.
Yeah, I remember
And of
that.
course, yeah.
That's one of the reasons that the hackathon results were late. That was funny.
Oh my god, yeah, because of the hack and like, yeah, it was funny like trying to manage that hack. I was just like the liaison between everything, and like you guys came in second.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually
yeah, so
third, but yeah,
third, a third. You guys
Yeah.
came in third. Oh, okay. Oh, hell, nice. But still, hey, you guys qualified. Um,
yeah, that
but
was
anyway,
great.
yeah. May the Frax Build hackathon in the future when Frax Chain launches, and that's like quite likely. And you know, really excited for the stuff happening. That's going to happen in 2024.
Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
excited too. Guys,
Yeah.
Amazing, Dave.
to everyone that's listening, do you guys want to ask anything before they leave, like in the next two
Yeah.
minutes? Please send it
Yeah,
in the
guys,
group in the chat.
open to questions.
Rainer is all it's mentioning a lot of things here, so maybe if you have any questions, Rainer.
Yeah.
I have a question, quick question actually. Dave, do you know if Frax ETH V2 is going to be like a separate token, or do you know how this migration process will happen? Or is it like
Oh no,
just going to
no.
change the backend?
It's just in the back end. So like, there's no token migration.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So there's it. That's the great part about there's no token migration whatsoever. It's nice.
Awesome.
Which is yeah. Are there any other questions?
Rainer just wanted to say hi.
Oh, oh,
He wants
hi.
to meet you in person in the US.
Hi, Rainer. How's it going?
Oh,
I'll
actually,
be. Oh, yeah,
what?
it's fun. Here's a question, but I'll be at ETH. I'll be in Singapore. I'll be at ETH New York, Missouri. I'll be around for that week in New York if anyone's around.
Awesome. He actually sent a question before that we missed.
Oh,
I'll just read it to you. A quick question for myself. As Zaros will potentially offers some RWA's trades, any possible strategic exposure to Frax FPI?
I
yeah, go ahead.
I replied to this question. I'm not sure if he's mentioning about like our perps markets or about our LP structure, but we do have we will have like perps markets available, such as like stocks, commodities, FX. But if he's talking about collateral options, our initial focus will be LSTs. But who knows? Maybe in the future, it could make sense.
Yeah, that'd be a cool thing to have as a potential collateral in the future.
Mhm.
Awesome. I think Rainer is. Yeah, he was mentioning collateral wise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
answered. So, guys, I think that's it. Dave, thanks a lot for joining. Thanks a lot for
Yeah.
Thank you so
sharing
much.
the informations. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see you soon in Singapore.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We got a few
Yeah,
events lined up. Yeah,
yeah.
always a pleasure to chat. I feel like we're always chatting either in our chat or like we have our Zooms and stuff. It's great to support you guys, see you guys grow, and excited to see you guys keep building.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
the
much, Dave.
support, and I'll see you soon. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao.
Thank you, everyone.